Leddy, Ron Fiorito, and our band director, and I would love to thank you for sharing your Saturday with us today and spending some time playing percussion, learning about percussion, and about to learn a lot, myself included. I can't wait. Been looking forward to this for quite some time. Our sponsors today helped out big time in supporting Paul's performance. So I want to make sure I thank Shure, DW, ProMark, Heisky, and Remo, and a big shout out to Illinois Percussive Arts Society for contributing today also. I'm looking forward to this, so Paul, you're up. Everyone give Paul Wertico a hand.
Well, it's an honor to be here. I mean, I've been playing drums for longer than I wanted to get. So, and it's been a really interesting career, and one of the things I really love to do is teach. A lot of good results with some of my students. I don't think any of you guys watched Jimmy Fallon show last Friday. You saw Prince, but that's the girl drummer is my student, Hannah Ford, and another drummer of mine now is playing with Phil Collins' son's band. He's going to be touring over Europe. And so part of the deal with playing music is to express yourself, but it's not just about yourself. When you play music with other people, it's about sharing experience. It's about helping them sound better. They make you sound better, hopefully, and it's about sharing it with the audience. And then also there's a teaching aspect too, which kind of lets people know what you're thinking if you're thinking about anything specific. Also the technical things that let you express yourself. Because basically, today there's so much we can do, like 9-hour clinics, cover not 9, cover half the things. So today I thought, since there's a lot of percussion groups here and everything, what I want to talk about is sort of my approach to drumming. I'm on hundreds of records and all kind of stuff. And when people ask me who I am, I really don't know. I'm not like a jazz drummer. I'm not a rock drummer. I'm just a musician. I just play music. And one of the things I always did, even when I was really young, because you guys are so lucky to have the teachers you have here, because one of the things when I was your age, when I was in high school, and even before that, I guess I'll give you a little small biographical information about how important teachers are. When I was in 6th grade, my parents and I moved to Cary, Illinois, my parents in Crystal Lake area. And so I would have been just starting the 6th grade at that point. I didn't play music. I love music, but I didn't play. So my mom said, there's a school band, you should take up an instrument, just don't take up the drums. But that was the only thing I loved to do. And so I joined the school band, and the band director's name was Vern Perry. His name was Vern Pade. He went by both names. He was actually a saxophone player. So he kind of taught me a little bit about reading music and how to hold the sticks and stuff. And then I could just play. I had no reason why I could just play. I sat down with a friend of mine who had been playing since he was like 8 years old. Sadly, his kid, I could just play the kid. And it was really weird. And so I wanted to take some lessons. My mom was like, no, don't take any lessons because, you should just come up with your own thing. And so in some ways, it was kind of strange because, a good teacher can really help you break through a lot of things. And then, cut the amount of time that you improve very quickly by someone showing, well, no, if you're doing this, you'd be more efficient, the motion is this. But somehow I didn't do it, and I taught myself, basically. I played on pillows, I didn't even have a drum set, and I kind of just didn't want to work out. So when I went into high school, I was really into sports, and I was going to join the band, and the band director there, Donald Ahrensberger, who I'm friends with both Vern and Donald to this day, he allowed me to be in the band, and at first I was pretty, I wasn't very disciplined. We auditioned for the high school band, and there was 5 chairs, and I didn't even look at the audition. I came at 8, but he raised the band to be 8. And I mean, all of a sudden, I was the head of the percussion section because I could play better than the other kids. I don't know why, but the thing is, what both those band directors really allowed me to do was sort of find myself, right or wrong. In art, there's really no right or wrong. It allowed me to keep on growing my sort of improvisational skills, because that's the one thing that's really important. you know, a lot of times we're told that this is right, this is wrong, and you know, if you're playing classical music or a percussion piece that's a composer and is an arranger, then that is true. There's the right way, because that's the vision of the whoever is the main guy. So it's either the director or whatever. Then you're just part of the ensemble. But in a lot of the music that I play, I'm also a composer, and I'm also kind of coming up with things just in some ways that really influence the music. So those band directors allowed me to really keep on growing and keep on growing. And what was so funny is that there was another student, his name was Randy Isles. He was about 2 years older than I was, so I think he was either junior when I was a freshman or senior. And he was a guy that was right by the book. I mean, he played everything right the right way, and he and I hated each other. Yeah, now we're like best friends. And actually what ended up happening with him is that he ended up joining the Air Force Band, and he became the president of the Percussive Art Society. And so now we're great friends, but we had two completely different visions of the music we were supposed to be about. But this band director, Donald Ahrensberger, was able to nurture both those extreme points of view, which that's why I'm always knocked out by what a teacher can do. So again, you guys are really lucky. So for me today, I'm going to show you a bunch of things. During the master class, we'll talk about technical things, we'll talk about musical conceptual things. But I just kind of want to perform a little bit. Now, this is not my drum set. I haven't tuned the drum set at all. It's my snare drum, but I haven't played that snare drum in a while. These are my cymbals, but they, you know, have many different cymbals. They all have different reasons to exist. So basically, this is like sort of my percussion section here. So let me see if I. Okay, so you can probably hear that this time is a lot better than that time. Now, that could be a drag, but it doesn't have to be, because all of a sudden I can utilize that and say, okay, well, this is always more sort of like it's got a skin on it, like a real skin. Cymbal-wise,